Alright, Bismillah. I'll try to make this one short about Ibn Masud radiallahu anh. Um, Dr. Oakley, it seems like you're using the same type of tactic that you're accusing your opponents of, not knowing certain things about Christianity. I do want to point the viewers to the debate of Jalal Abu Arub and his sources. If you go to islamlife.com or if you Google Islam Life, you'll see his sources and you'll see all his arguments, all his notes are posted there. You can analyze yourself and see that Dr. Oakley is not really being very fully, I don't want to call him dishonest, but I mean but anyway, go check it out. As for Ibn Masud, you said that he did not want to give up his copy of the Qur'an. For sure not. I wouldn't want to give up my copy of the Qur'an if I wrote it by hand, if I put my hadith in it that I heard from the Prophet ﷺ, if I made my notes and references, if I put it and cherished it, and this was my personal copy, things that I heard from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, by himself. This was definitely something that I would not want to give up, right? Not that it was any different than what Uthman brought. Uthman did not compile the Quran by his whims and desires. There was a unanimous consensus, and that's why Ibn Masud gave up his Quran in the end. We have to remember, first person who compiled the Quran was Abu Bakr, and he was of the opinion that he shouldn't have done it. And Omar finally showed him and convinced him of the good things, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Inna alayna jam'al Qur'ana, that is up to me, to us, to gather the Quran. Okay? And for you it's only to recite it. He's the one who took upon himself, through these people, to collect the Quran. Okay? So Ibn Masud did not have a different Quran. There was different surahs, arrangements, right? Why? Because he did not put it in the arrangement, because it was not revealed in the final arrangement. Now what's the arrangement? The Prophet ﷺ recited these surahs, and that's how the Sahabas unanimously agreed on the arrangement of the Quran, because the Prophet would recite it in prayer. Okay, during Ramadan, the angel Gabriel would come and he would review it with him, and he would recite it through. Sometimes he would recite surah number 1, 2, 3, 4 together. He would tell the people, put this verse over here and this verse over here. So there was certain divinely arranged things, and the instruction of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Right? So we have to get our facts straight here. Now you said that there's certain things that Muslim apologists do not admit, and that is that there's variations in the Quran. There's no variations in the Quran. That's not a variation. You have to understand what does it mean to say a huruf, okay, a huruf or the qira'at. Okay, you have to understand the definition, right? So when I say, for example, Maliki or Maliki, okay, it is two different things, okay? Two words are written the same, okay? Very slight different pronunciation, yet the translation can be king or sovereigner, okay? It only amplifies the meaning, okay? It does not, I repeat, change the meaning, okay? And I don't want to get into the textual, variances of the Bible to show the opposite on that side, on how doctrine can change based on that. But if you understand Islam, the context of the Quran, you'll find that you cannot put, for example, like qulub, okay? It's spelled almost the same as qalb, or kelb, sorry. Qalb and kelb. So if you have qalb means heart, right? Fi qulubihim maradun, okay? So you would say in their hearts there is some disease. Now within the context, if I say fi kelb maradun, in the dog there's a disease, if you look at the context, then it makes no sense, right? So you have to understand really what's the difference, right? Now where did this come from? There's got to be an authority, right? Because in the Bible there's no authority. Jesus didn't come and say, hey, there's various in the Quran, you can talk about this, you can talk about that. Paul didn't come and say, hey, yeah, there's, the footnotes were incorporated. John 16:9-20 is Mark 16:9-20 is, was not found in the old references of the, of the New Testament. Certain things were used different. There's this variation, this variation. Okay, where does it come from? It is when the Prophet ﷺ narrated in the books of Hadith, Bukhari, Muslim, the authentic books of Hadith. The Prophet ﷺ was on the outskirts of Medina, and Angel Gabriel came to him and he says, "O Muhammad, recite the Quran in one way." And Muhammad said, peace be upon him, "I asked my Lord to increase it They say, "Oh Muhammad, recite the Quran in 2 ways. I ask my Lord to increase it." "Oh Muhammad, recite the Quran in 3 ways. I ask my Lord to increase it. Verily I fear that my people will not be able to do that." And then he says, "Recite the Quran in 7 ways. Whichever way you recite it, it is correct." So there is a resource. There is an authority from God through the angel. What does this recitation in 7 different ways or modes does it imply? That's where the what you call the changing of the words. No, there's synonyms that are used, right? Why? Because the Arabs, for example, they had so many different names for camel. Some tribes use certain names, and other tribes use different names. Some people are not familiar with the other tribe's name. Okay, so there's synonyms that are used. There's different spelling, certain pronunciation. Okay, with the same general meaning, nothing in context. Look at what Sir William Muir said about the Quran. With no context change, no doctrinal change in anything, right? So number one, there's an authority from the angel Gabriel, from God himself through the angel Gabriel. So there's the hadith. Many hadiths they talk about this. The Muslim, there's no such thing as Muslim apologetics. No one claims that the Quran has no such thing. There's a difference between variation and qira'at, okay? This is part of the Quran. This is part of the mu'ajjiz, or the miraculous nature of the Quran, that it does have this. That people can memorize fully the whole different recitations, the whole pronunciations, the different dialects. All of them, okay? This is part of the mu'ajjiz of the Quran, the miraculous nature of the Quran. So please make sure these facts are getting straight. Okay, don't come and say, "Oh, Ibn Masud, how could I trust the person who gives it?" These are, weak arguments, not from you. You're supposed to be a PhD, and you have to bring your proof, right? Now, having said that, going back to Ibn Masud, he was a very well-versed person. When Uthman gathered the Quran, it was unanimously agreed. Now, there's a difference. Look at that, and I want everyone to pay attention. When the Bible was compiled, it was only in the hands of the elite. Okay, you could be punished by having a Bible in your house up to a certain time, in quite a long time actually. What happens if you look at the hadith? What happens? Zayd, the freed slave of Prophet Muhammad, he's the one who led this job. Many other people helped him. Everyone who heard, or anyone from that place, from Medina, brought together. They came together. The whole nation was involved in this joint effort, right? They all memorized the Quran. They all knew it. It's in our memory right now. It was always in our memory. But they wanted to make sure there's no doubt, right, to any people. So they involved everyone. Everyone who heard anything, who wrote anything, bring it. We will show you. We bring two witnesses. You bring the actual materials, and then we compile it. No one disagreed. No one fought and said, "Hey, no, we're gonna kill you." It was only the ignorant on the outskirts of the Muslim empire that started debating, or, "Oh, my recitation is better than yours, and my recitation is better than yours." And that's when Hudayfa and other Sahabas, that's when it led to the actual decision to gather it and to make the standardized recitation in the Quraysh dialect, and so on and so forth. So no one, because these guys did not understand, they were not Arabs, they were just learning the borders with Azerbaijan and so on and so forth. And that's when they said, "Hey, let's bring it. This is enough. We don't want it to happen what happened to the Christians, for example, or the Jews, right? That they deferred about the book." So alhamdulillah, today we have the perfect Quran as Prophet Muhammad recited it. We had it back then. It's in our hearts. The burden of proof remains on you. Assalamu alaikum.